History is full of fascinating people, kings, queens, revolutionaries, and scientists who shape our world. But here is a question for you. Are the stories we have been told about them actually true? You might be shocked to learn that many of the most famous figures in history are misunderstood, misrepresented, or downright misjudged. Today, we will uncover the inaccuracies, explore why they exist, and figure out why they have been so hard to correct. The problem with history. History is written by people, and people make mistakes. Sometimes it's because of politics, sometimes it's because of cultural bias, and sometimes it's just because stories get exaggerated over time. Let's start with some examples of famous historical figures who are commonly misunderstood. Famous figures and their misunderstood stories. First example, Cleopatra. When you think of Cleopatra, what comes to mind? Most people imagine a beautiful seductress who used her charm to manipulate men. But Cleopatra was much more than that. She was a brilliant politician, a skilled diplomat, a leader who ruled Egypt during a turbulent time. Why is her intelligence overlooked? Because much of what we know about her comes from Roman historians, her enemies. They wanted to discredit her, and sadly, their version of the story stuck. Second example, Christopher Columbus is often celebrated as the man who discovered America. But let's be honest, he didn't. Indigenous people had been living there for thousands of years. Columbus' arrival brought exploitation, slavery, and suffering to many of them. So, why does the myth of him as a hero persist? It's because for centuries, his story was used to create national pride, especially in countries like the United States. Next, Albert Einstein. Einstein is often seen as a lone genius who came up with groundbreaking theories all by himself. But did you know he worked closely with other scientists, and his wife, Mileva Marias, may have contributed to his early work? The image of Einstein as a lone genius persists because it's simpler and more dramatic, but it's not entirely accurate. Why these inaccuracies persist? So, why haven't these myths been corrected? Let's break it down. First, cultural narratives. Sometimes myths are easier to believe than complicated truths. They fit nearly into the stories we want to tell ourselves as a society. For example, celebrating Columbus as a hero makes people feel proud of their heritage, even if it means ignoring the darker parts of his story. Next, bias in historical sources. Many historical records were written by people with their own agenda. The Romans wanted Cleopatra to look bad, so they made her look bad. Einstein's contemporaries didn't think women could be great scientists, so they downplayed Mileva's role. Next, media reinforcement. Movies, books, and even memes simplify history for entertainment. Cleopatra becomes a seductress. Columbus becomes a discoverer. Einstein becomes a lone genius. Once these images are in the public mind, they are hard to shake. Finally, resistance to change. People don't like to have their beliefs challenged. Correcting myths requires re-educating entire generation, which is no small task. How it affects us today. Why does this matter? It's not just about getting the facts right. These inaccuracies affect how we think about the past and the present. Gender bias. When women like Cleopatra and Mileva Marias are reduced to stereotypes, it reinforces the idea that women are less capable. This impacts how we see women in leadership and science even today. Next, cultural superiority. The glorification of figures like Columbus can perpetuate harmful ideas of cultural superiority and colonialism. It blinds us to the contribution and suffering of indigenous peoples. Finally, lost lessons. If we don't know the real stories of historical figures, we miss out on important lessons. Cleopatra's political genius, Einstein's collaboration, the struggle of indigenous peoples, all these have valuable lessons for us today. What can we do about it? So, how can we fix this? Here are some ideas. First, question everything. Don't take history at face value. Ask questions, read multiple sources, and think critically. Next, promote inclusive histories. Support books, movies, and documentaries that tells the story of underrepresented groups. When we hear diverse voices, we get closer to the truth. Next, educate the next generation. Teach kids that history is complex and that it's okay to challenge old ideas. Encourage them to dig deeper and think for themselves. Finally, hold media accountable. Demand accuracy from filmmakers, authors, and journalists. Entertainment can still be accurate and meaningful. History isn't just about the past, it shapes how we see the world today. By challenging the myths and seeking the truth, we honor the real stories of people who changed the world.